I'm in my mid-30s, but I've always had a soft spot for technology. It's fascinated and enthralled me ever since I was a nerdy teen stashing away dollars for the latest gadgets. So naturally, when whispers of an advanced technology started to surface of a groundbreaking augmented reality, or AR headset dubbed the Lucid Lens, I was hooked. I couldn't believe it. An AR headset of this caliber was a dream come true. I first heard of the Lucid Lens when a friend shared a picture of a prototype model on the web. The sleek design and intricate detailing just screamed innovation. I was drawn in, and I knew I had to have one. So I started researching everything I could about the Lucid Lens, and soon enough I could picture myself living the augmented reality dream. With the device, I could interact with virtual objects on the fly, boost my productivity, and access any data at the blink of an eye. I was ready to take the dive, but I was still apprehensive. After all, this level of tech was relatively new, and it was expensive. After a few more days of research, I decided to take the plunge and ordered the Lucid Lens. When it arrived, I felt like I was holding something revolutionary. The possibilities were endless. I played around with the device for hours, exploring the different features and capabilities, mesmerized by its potential. It was, in a word, magical. Over the course of the next few days, the Lucid Lens had changed my life in a million ways. I heard countless stories of its powerful features and capabilities, people raving about how it revolutionized their lives as well. On the first day with the device, my living room was transformed into a personal control center, with dozens of holographic screens floating around me and virtual files accessible at my fingertips. Video games felt like adrenaline-filled escapades, my heart racing as I pulled off incredible feats. Everything felt so realistic. For a moment, it felt like I was standing on the edge of the future. But on the 8th day, things took a turn for the macabre. A routine system update notification popped up. Excited for enhanced features and greater realism, I accepted the update without a second thought. I decided to keep the headset on while the update installed. Once the process completed and the headset rebooted, something extremely strange happened. The familiar layout of my living room had vanished. Instead, I stood in the midst of a grotesque wasteland under a bruised and bleeding sky. A shiver ran down my spine. The ground beneath me was barren, charred like the aftermath of a brutal firestorm. What is going on with this thing? I attempted to rip the headset off, but it clung to my skin like a parasitic creature. I frantically searched for the power button, but it was nowhere to be found. My heart hammered in my chest as I realized I was imprisoned in this nightmarish reality. The dry air shimmered as the dark abyss came alive, writhing with an army of creatures that seemed to derive from the very depths of hell. The creatures were abominations, amalgams of decaying limbs and rotting flesh, bursting with a grotesque energy. Their voices hissed in sinister whispers that lingered like shadows in the wind. All around me, glowing eyes shone, glinting with ancient evil. Something in my gut told me that these were demons. Actual demons. They'd come to make their presence known. They had come to claim me as their newest toy in this unholy nightmare that was now my reality. A feeling of stark and sobering realization washed over me as I finally put the pieces together. This technology was a tool, a conduit for evil, and I played right into it. I was trapped in hell. Fear paralyzed me as they circled around me like vultures eager for the kill. I could hear them laughing and mocking me, clearly enjoying my terror-stricken state. I was in agony, a never-ending cycle of torment that seemed to have no limits. The demons were relentless in their pursuit of my suffering, playing cruel games designed to break me down and turn me into one of their own. They tested my willpower and resolve, pushing me to the brink of my humanity. But I refused to surrender. I had no choice but to fight, to cling on to whatever hope remained within me. With every ounce of strength I had left, I pushed back against the evil onslaught of these creatures. Suddenly, something changed. It was as if a light switch had been flipped inside of me. A torrent of energy filled my veins, and my muscles tensed with an unfamiliar strength. At first, I thought it was a figment of my imagination, until I realized the source of this newfound power. The lucid lens, like a parasitic leech, had burrowed deep into my flesh. The demonic machinery invaded my very being, merging circuitry with organic matter until it was impossible to tell where I ended and the machine began. I felt its power coursing through every fiber of my being, making me feel both omnipotent and damned. The demons never stood a chance against this new version of me. Their pitiful attempts to subdue me were met by brute force unmatched by any creature in this nightmarish realm. With each move I made, I could see terror reflected in their eyes as they realized the full extent of my unholy power. Finally free from their grasp and fueled by my new demonic superpowers, I moved along the landscape with terrifying speed and efficiency. I didn't know how long this new ability would last, so I searched frantically for an escape route out of this living hell. But no matter how far I ran, I couldn't seem to find one. Suddenly, an idea struck me. What if I could trick the AR's location tracking system? After all, it was a structured system at its core. Why wouldn't a glitch or error be possible? My heart raced as I focused my energy, channeling it into the AR system. Flames licked around me and the smell of smoke filled my lungs. I was running out of time. With a deep breath, I screamed within my mind, telepathically feeding false coordinates into the system with every ounce of mental strength that remained. In what felt like an eternity, but must only have been seconds later, I was back in my living room, gritting my teeth in agony. I forced the headset off of my face, its sharp edges cutting into my skin as I tore it away. The headset fell to the floor, an inert piece of technology once again. I was free, or so I thought. Even now, long after the nightmare, I see flickers dance across my vision, shadows that shift unnaturally at the edge of my sight. Demonic whispers creep into my ears in the quiet of the night. The boundary that the lucid lens broke is still open, and I fear it's only a matter of time before they come for me again. It's becoming increasingly difficult to keep them at bay, constantly looking for ways to exploit any weakness in my mental defenses. I survived once, and I won't make the same mistake twice. Never again will I be so naive as to underestimate the power of this malicious technology. If you ever come across the lucid lens, I beg you, turn away. It's more than a headset. It's a conduit to hell.